Hey there, this is Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the November 15th Scorpio New Moon. It is happening right after midnight on November 15th, but that's Eastern Standard Time. So this could be happening November 14th for you, depending on your location on the planet. Let's take a look at this chart, and it is a big energy. So first of all, we have the sun and the moon together at 23 degrees of Scorpio. This is the degree point you want to look for in your natal chart. This is where the sun and the moon, feminine and masculine, are together in union to create a new energy together. Every new moon is a time of intention and birthing something into your life, into your energy, or into your world. So you find 23 degrees of Scorpio, and this is where the energy strongly supports what you're passionate about. Scorpio is a water sign that connects us to what we're feeling underneath the surface. What drives us? What motivates us? What do we really want? And how can we co-create it? Scorpio is a relationship energy. It's where we merge with others, with other people and other energies at a very intense, deeper level. It is the energy of intimacy, vulnerability, being open and truthful about who you really are, including your fears. But when you have the courage and strength to see something in that way, the Scorpio energy supports you tapping into your own power, into the power that helps you move forward and see something that truly matters to you. The sun and the moon are strongly supported at this time as they both connect to all three planets in Capricorn. We've been talking about these planets all year long. You can see that Pluto, 22 degrees of Capricorn, Jupiter, 23 degrees Capricorn, Saturn, 27 degrees of Capricorn. They are all direct, moving forward, and it really adds a seriousness to this new moon. The seriousness is based on what you have changed and discovered about your life and your world throughout 2020, what you have transformed, the fears you have faced, and again, what has changed for you at a very deep level of your being throughout this year. Now, note that the new moon is at 23 degrees, which is in the third decan of Scorpio. The third decan is between 20 to 29 degrees of every astrological sign, and it's where there is mastery, understanding, wisdom, and graduation. We have matured this year, and we're meant to make a new start with the support of these Capricorn planets. The new start is really supported. It's powerful, and it could feel like it's clearer to you what you need to do, what you want to do, what honors you, what direction, ambition, achievement you're ready to move towards, where you're meant to rise in a sense of power after everything you've faced this year, everything that has changed for all of us dramatically and drastically. This is support for moving ahead into the next chapter of our life. And it could also be a higher understanding of the next goals, ambitions, and where you need to go in your life to feel like you're really living a passionate life. Passionate, motivated, powerful. One thing that's very clear about this chart is that not only is there strong synergy and connection between Scorpio and Capricorn, but now the personal planets are all direct. Mercury is direct in Scorpio, still in a shadow zone, and creating a third and final opposition to Uranus up here at 8 degrees Taurus retrograde. This is the third and final opposition that will be exact November 17th, so just a few days after this new moon, and it is a revelation, an understanding. Whatever has been bogging you down mentally, that's felt fearful, heavy, challenging, discouraging, anything that's really triggered a deeper emotional process in you, it's had different energies of clearing throughout October and into November. This energy was strong during that October 31st Taurus full moon. The energy is now back, and it has the potential, depending on your willingness and your intention, to break you free. To break you free of the mental fears. It's wise to honor your fears, to see them as messengers, to understand them as a part of your experience that is warning you of danger, potential danger, that wants to keep you safe. And our minds can do that. Our minds can overthink, overprocess. They can also circle in these thoughts. This is where there can be obsession. There's a breakout energy here with this new moon as Mercury opposes this Uranus in Taurus for the third and final time. Uranus is the stronger energy here. And I have a separate video for you here on YouTube about how Mercury and Uranus are related. Mercury is the lower octave, it's the human mind. Uranus is the higher octave, it's the universal intelligence, the cosmic wisdom that we don't always see in our humanness. Breakout energy is very strong between these two. We also have Mars finally direct. Mars stationed direct November 13th here at 15 degrees and hangs out at 15 degrees for most of November and ends the month at 16 degrees. So here Mars is revving his engine, gassing up, let's say, fueling up his tanks to go forward with a new understanding of what he really wants and needs and how he's motivated to go after something that's calling to him, that's been calling to him. Keep in mind, this is an energy that's been retrograde since the middle of September. So we've been deeply clearing out the lower expressions of Mars and Aries, the impatience, selfishness, impulsiveness, perhaps the parts of ourselves that only operate out of our own immediate desires and needs without tapping into the bigger picture or the long-term perspective. Mars has been meeting up with the planets in Capricorn, creating frustration, delays, challenges, a slowdown, but ultimately asking Mars to realign himself with something tangible, concrete, responsible, committed, integrity, self-respect. And I feel like this Mars is going to move forward with a fresh understanding of himself, his purpose, and how to go about moving into next steps. So this is still a very slow-moving Mars, but now the wind is at his back. Now he is wiser and more mature and able to move ahead with a higher consciousness because of his retrograde. Mars does stay in Aries until the first week in January 2021. So keep that in mind, that there's still a long time here with Mars in Aries. It's still a number of weeks, but this will put you into alignment for the fresh starts that are coming in 2021. The middle of November has an overall changing of energy. Things move forward. There is a deeper transformation. You can see here how Jupiter is still conjunct Pluto. This is for the third and final time this year, And this is happening at these 22, 23 degrees where Pluto was conjunct Saturn in January of this year. So now we have the third and final Jupiter conjunct Pluto that's asking us to look at how much has changed in our own energy fields, our own consciousness over the past 11 months since 2020 began. Pluto is also the ruler of Scorpio, so the ruler of this new moon, and very powerful here, especially being emphasized and expanded through Jupiter. You're really meant to look at what you have learned, and it's interesting. You could feel like you've lost a lot this year. Scorpio is about what we let go of and then allow an opening for a new opportunity, new potential, new energy to come forward that we merge with. But there can be loss with Scorpio. This can show up through all areas of life. But it reminds us, the Pluto energy being so strong, reminds us of the soul's ongoing journey, and that the soul never loses anything. At a soul level, nothing is lost. Nothing is really let go of. It's transformed, it's reborn, there's new manifestations, and it happens at a pace or on a timeline that can feel inconvenient or uncomfortable for our human self. But I feel like this as a resurgence of soul energy. This Scorpio new moon is deep. It takes us into the deeper healing and lessons that we've been moving through. But there's a rising. Jupiter conjunct Pluto. That Jupiter brings in what we need. A resurgence of a new goal, ambition, direction, purpose, passion. It's just so strong. And I know I already said that in this video, but it's just so strong here in the energy that what you want to do is not only look at where this Scorpio is, that 23 degrees, it's finally connecting with all the deep changes that have happened for you at 22 and 23 degrees of Capricorn. They're talking to each other in a supportive manner, giving you new energy to move forward. And yet we've had to let things go. Powerful life changes, powerful releases, things that weren't even in our control. And it could have felt very powerless. The feeling of powerlessness can be very strong. But it's time to change that, because you're never truly a victim, never at a soul level, never at an energetic level. It's what you choose to work with. It's what you choose to believe, and how those beliefs then energize the energy going forward. So this is also very important because the Scorpio new moon is the beginning of eclipse season. And those of you who are in my November 2020 Soul Growth Astrology webinar, we go through all this. And yes, you can still sign up for that monthly webinar where I go through all the astrology of November and use coupon code Scorpio to get it for $11. This is the beginning of eclipse season because it's the new moon, and 2 weeks later we have the full moon, and that full moon is going to be in Gemini. 8 degrees, 9 degrees of Gemini. So whatever you passionately begin here, by the end of the month, by November 30th, the Gemini lunar eclipse accelerates the energy, moves things along. There's a change in tempo. Things pick up. There's a lot of information, a lot of choices, a lot of movement. So whatever you're powerfully committing to, it's going to accelerate through the second half of November. And the energy will then be in the Gemini area of your chart. So I'll be back with another video on that. But for those of you who want to go into that information now, you do want to check out the November 2020 monthly soul growth astrology webinar. So just keep in mind, turning point for the year. That's what this is. It's a passionate, clear turning point. What you've had to let go of and release is connecting you to some new goals, opportunities, direction. I do feel a seriousness to this energy. There's a maturity, a responsibility. There's also a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom here. So, a powerful time, the middle of November, turning points, energy moving ahead, things going to pick up the pace. It's really going to start to accelerate, and it's going to show you how powerful your energy is, regardless of anything. And in fact, it reminds you that you're always tapped in and tuned in when you're consciously working with these cycles and you're consciously aware of your own energy at all times. So, a very poignant Scorpio new moon, one to take seriously and to use wisely, as it's setting you up for how you want to end 2020 on your own terms. And that can feel very empowering, especially after all the changes and everything we've been through this year. This is reminding you to travel with your power. Look at what you need to commit to realistically and with a higher level of self-respect. And to rise. It is a rising energy, and it's a rising sense of where you can go next. So I hope this has given you some good things to think about, as we have a lot of dynamic energies here in the middle of November that are setting us up for not only the end of 2020, but where you want to go in 2021. So thank you so much for joining me in this video. I appreciate your likes, comments, subscribes. Thank you so much for sharing this video too. I'm grateful that it can help other people and help them tap into answers and understandings around what they're experiencing as well. Thank you so much. You can find out more about my astrology classes, webinars, and programs below this video here. And I'll be back soon as we'll take a look at the Gemini lunar eclipse on November 30th. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.